8th grade volleyball team. First, I would like to thank our administration, Mrs. Hatzel, Mr. Griffith, Mr. Cook, for all the hard work they do for us. I would also like to thank the parents, especially when we went to the state tournament, busted up at 7 in the morning. I know these guys are not easy to get up at whatever time they had to get up, so I'd like to thank all of these players. I had the pleasure of coaching them as 7th graders. We had a fantastic season, won a state championship, and for some reason they all wanted to have me coach them again. I'm not really sure why, but they did. They were very willing to be taught new things. Unfortunately, they also taught me how to whip and nay-nay, which is not really a pretty picture. So I would like to also congratulate our 7th grade. It is not easy to win that tournament. That's a great win. As far as our season from a recap goes, our regular season, we were 11-1. Also had the pleasure of being beat by Yorktown, which I'm in therapy for. And we also did a few different things this year with the 8th grade. We put in an 8th grade invitational tournament, brought in 3 other undefeated teams, which we took 3rd in that tournament. Would love to see us continue to do things like that for this school and for this team. It was a great tournament to be part of, and I heard nothing but positive feedback afterwards, so I think that we'll continue to do that. This was a season for us. Unfortunately, we didn't finish at 11-1. We also had other tournaments, including the state tournament, which we had some difficulties with due to injuries that we had. We had 2 people that were unable to play for us. We reinvented ourselves multiple times during the course of the year. Went to the state championship, actually made it all the way back to the finals of the state championship, and we got beat by Burris at the finals of the state championship. Possibly maybe the greatest comeback in the history of sports for us to make it to the finals. It was awesome. So we also have a plaque for Mrs. Hatzel. Okay, in no particular order here, we'll go to announce the girls. Jaden Archie. Jaden was a manager for us last year. She saw me ran and rave for a year. I'm not sure why she wanted to be part of it this year, but she did. She started off as a back row specialist, serving for us. At the end of the year, due to injuries, I ended up playing middle, playing outside. She had to learn multiple positions, which I know is not easy. The final tournament of the year, I didn't think I would see this, but I saw her diving on the floor multiple times, which was very impressive. So it was great to have Jaden on the team this year. Due to injuries, ended up having to play all the way around, have to play all 6 positions towards the end of the year. Emily is a perfectionist. She would hit a great ball and then turn and look like she had no idea what she was doing sometimes. I'm not exactly sure why. I did have to remind her sometimes that she is right-handed, so when she goes to high school next year, just make sure you're hitting right-handed. Emily Thurlow. Katie Nunn. Katie was an outside hitter for us last year. She played mostly across the back row this year. Unfortunately, she was sidelined at the end of the year with an injury when she had some opportunities to play outside again after another injury on our team. It was too bad for her because I thought that she had an opportunity to step up and do some nice things for us. But she contributed a ton at the beginning of the year, and it's a pleasure to have on the team, Katie Nunn. And she was one of those players that towards the end of the year became one of our emotional leaders on the floor, always trying to get people pumped up on the floor. She did a great job, especially after blocks. She would get extra excited. So, Ashlyn Carey. Molly Welsh. Molly's a little afraid right now, so she doesn't really know what I'm going to say. Molly started off with us as a defensive specialist. Molly's confidence as the course of this year went on grew tremendously to the point in the state tournament I thought that she played maybe some of the best volleyball I've ever seen her play. It was really great to watch her develop that, especially have her best game during our biggest tournament. Molly Welch. Emily Scott. Emily's also a defensive specialist for us. She tries to convince me, or tried to convince me pretty much every day that she was a middle or an outside hitter. Every day practice would start, she would be taking swings. She would want to swing from the front row, swing from the back row. And then would get mad at me when I wouldn't let her do it. So that's just the relationship that we had all year, I think. Also, she's never met a stranger. When we went to the tournament this last weekend, she would go and shag balls for the other coaches. I think for a while she thought she was on the other teams for a while. I'm not exactly sure how that worked out, but she was great to have on the team this year. Emily Scott. Lauren started as a middle for us. Due to some injuries that we had, she ended up being switched to play an outside hitter. And actually, I think played fantastic in the state tournament for us. Outside hitter maybe where she's more comfortable. She did a great job blocking all year. I think that if she continues to work hard, she can contribute to the high school team next year. Lauren Nicholson. By the round of applause, Darby may be the most unselfish player I've ever met. We would be in practice, be in games, the ball would hit the floor, it could be 30 feet away from her, and she would turn and say, that was my fault. I'm not sure how they're all her fault, but somehow she would take credit so that everybody else would not have to see me rant and rave, I guess. I'm not exactly sure why she would do that, but she is that kind of a person. If I had 10 of her, it would have been even more of an amazing season. She played, originally was an outside hitter for us. Again, due to injuries, she had to change her position and really had to step up to do some things that she's not generally expected to do, and in this case was to be the setter, which is a huge leader for this team. She stepped up and played great, and I look forward to seeing her play in high school as well. Darby Williams. Melanie Schaffmaster. Melanie is a setter, played an outside hitter for us a little bit this year. Unfortunately, she is one of the players that got hurt. This is 2 years in a row for me that I've coached Melanie. We've not finished an entire season together. That's 2 undefeated seasons that I could have had that I blame on you at this point. So, she is the identity of this team from the start, and I refer to her as the eraser. She would erase mistakes with one swing at any given point in the game. And we really missed her towards at the end of the year, but she is going to be one of those people that's going to be fantastic to watch in the future. Melanie Schaffmaster. Okay, that's it. Oh, one more. Zoe Conway. Let's go! Zoe is somebody who hates losing more than she likes winning. If she could will a win, she would. She tried to do that at the end of the year this year. Has no problems hitting the floor, diving in the crowd. It doesn't matter. Whatever she had to do to try to win, she would do that. She mostly played setter, but would also hit out of the back row. I would love to give her the microphone so you can hear her voice right now, because she doesn't have one and she sounds like Bobby Brady. But I won't do that to her. But she is another one of these players that will, no doubt in my mind, have a fantastic high school career. If you guys have a phone, I would take a picture of these guys, because this, to me, I really believe is the core group that's going to bring our high school back into state championship contention. So this is the 8th grade volleyball team.
Let's have another hand for all these athletes.